The sun was setting on a warm autumn afternoon, casting long shadows across the quiet suburban neighborhood where Richard now lived. Life had changed drastically for him in the last 6 months since marrying Linda, his beautiful and caring wife. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. The house was immaculate, the family traditional and supportive, and Linda loved him with a sincerity that should have been enough. But Richard felt a restlessness gnawing at him, something he couldn't quite define. Inside the house, the faint sound of clattering dishes came from the kitchen, where Emma, his mother-in-law, was busy preparing dinner. Emma, in her late 40s, was a woman of strong character. There was an air of quiet authority around her that made people sit up straighter, choose their words more carefully in her presence. She was beautiful, yes, but it was her inner strength, her resilience that truly set her apart. As Richard glanced toward the kitchen, something in him stirred. It wasn't just respect, nor was it mere admiration. There was something deeper, something he didn't want to acknowledge. But ignoring it only made it grow stronger. He made his way into the kitchen, offering to help. Emma, who rarely accepted help from anyone, hesitated for a moment before handing him a bowl of vegetables to wash. They worked side by side in silence, the air between them charged, each of them painfully aware of the other. Putting away the groceries, but when their hands accidentally brushed while reaching for the same jar, a spark, small but undeniable, ignited. It was an innocent touch, barely noticeable, but it sent a jolt through both of them. Richard quickly pulled his hand back, pretending it hadn't affected him, but he couldn't ignore the pounding of his heart. Emma didn't look at him, but her lips were pressed into a thin line, as if she were holding back something that had been bubbling under the surface for weeks, maybe even months. She kept her gaze focused on the task at hand, but there was no denying the tension that now lingered in the room. "Thank you, Beta," Emma said softly, her voice calm, controlled. But Richard detected the slightest tremor in her tone, a crack in the otherwise unshakable woman he'd come to know. He nodded, unable to trust himself to speak. He left the kitchen quickly, but not before sneaking one last glance at her, Emma, who was now looking out the window, her face unreadable. Days passed, but that fleeting moment in the kitchen lingered in Richard's mind.